a little bias flare. This is just such a fun top. I saw it on somebody and copied it. So bias flare is what we're going to call it. The front, it's a knit. So the bias is okay on the front. In the back, I'll take it off and put it on a mannequin so we can see a little closer up, and I'll show you the pattern work. And just cute, fun, and then a little detail. All right, let's go to the table. Welcome, welcome. I love this top. I'll show you the details. We're going to start with the fabric, the pattern, and then the sewing. So let's just make sure you understand it first. If you notice that the back is asymmetric, so it comes farther than center back. If center back is, I'll just kind of put a pin where center back is. It comes past center back and then goes to the other side of center back. So it goes from one side at the top and then the other side at the bottom. And then there's a lace insertion. So when you decide how far to go past, and I'll show you how far I went past, just remember that you're going to have this extra lace, and my lace was 3 inches wide. So it just depends on how wide and what you're using. But then when I open it up, what you see underneath here, and I put a white piece of paper, is this is the entire back underneath. And it's only anchored in the shoulder seams and then the armholes. You could leave it loose under that if you wanted to. I connected at the side seams, but it's completely your call. It doesn't have to be connected. All right, so then let's look at the pattern work for it. I first took the back and then I doubled it. So boom, boom, I doubled it. And I think that's the easiest way. I think to try to cut it freehand is a little bit harder. So then I decided how far past, and past center back, past the center, I went 3 inches. So this way I went 3 inches plus the width of the lace. So that's why it looks like it's way over here. But the reality, and that's for stability, the reality is I only went 3 inches past center back. All right, and so that's right there. And then I picked a spot that I decided to go to this side of center back. So you're going to go basically from the right side to the left side. And I went again 3 inches to the other side. So the part that overlaps is the part you pick up, because here what I'm showing you is what mine looked like. This is actually the bigger piece at the bottom, but the smaller piece at the top. I'm choosing the piece that's the bigger at the bottom and the smaller at the top because that's what's creating that open, that window effect. So that part I'm throwing away, and this part I'm picking up, and I'm cutting 2 of them. Obviously one goes on top, and then one you're going to see slide up underneath. That's the pattern for it. You're still going to cut this back, and you're going to cut it out of your stretch lace underneath here. I guess it doesn't have to be stretched, but out of whatever fabric you're using underneath. All right, so that's the pattern work. The front, the sleeve, I just did a 3/4 sleeve. Y'all know how to do that. And for the front, all I did was create a bias. So if you take your fabric, any square fabric, rectangular, whatever it is, and fold it to create a 90-degree angle on the fold, then that's how you place your pattern. Your pattern goes along there. And I would allow, I did 2 yards. I allowed a yard for the front and then a yard for the parts of the back and the sleeve. So 2 lengths is what it needed, and that worked really well. Also what I did is I created a V-neck in the front, and I'll show you that in a minute. And on that V-neck, my numbers were 11 to 19. Those were just my numbers. 11 at the base of the neck, 19 at center front. And then that's the pattern. That's the layout on the fabric. I love this fabric. It's 100% cotton. It's beautiful. And then let's just talk about the sewing here for a minute. All right, so the very first thing I did obviously was sew the French darts and pulled those up. And with a bias front, especially when it's got these checks like this, you don't even see those darts because they're just on the bias, and they're kind of actually now a straight line. They're built in. You can go back and see it when I had on a little bit better. You want it to be a little full at the hips. So what I did on both the front and the back, I don't think my mannequin's going to stand up there. Hang on just one second. What I did is, if this is my fabric, I put the pattern on the fold there, but as it came down, I'm going to hold this for you so make sure you can see. So you can see at the neckline, it's on the fold. If you think the top edge of the ruler is the fold. But down here, notice how it's not on the fold. It's a little bit away. That gives you a little bit more through the hips. And so I pulled mine front away an inch and my back away an inch here at the bottom. So that gave me 4 extra inches around the hips. It had a little bit of fullness there, and that's actually worked out perfect for me. All right, so I've got that extra fullness. When I did my, I sewed my French darts, I sewed the lace onto my back piece. So this is my lace I decided to have. And this is a border, but you could use any lace and any border. I think it's all pretty. I just sewed that right onto that piece in the back. Once I did that to both sides, I constructed the shoulder seams. And so you're going to put your lace underneath. You've got 2 layers in the back because where your back is crossing. And then I put my fold over elastic on, which is what I wanted to get to. And the fold over elastic is just like any neckline, but you know, with a V-neck, what you do is you come back and you stitch just a little dart right at center front. And I've shown how to do this on YouTube. Google V-neck bias foldovers on our YouTube site and it'll come up. So you can put just a little, and this one I just wanted a V-neck, I think because my fabric was checks and a V-neck is a little more conducive to that than a curved neck. So that was my only thinking, and I really like it. I like the V-neck. All right, so then let's go to the back. I've got my lace sewn on. I've got it anchored up here at the shoulder seams, and I've got the neckline sewn. And that's what will secure all of this in place here. And then I just finish up. I set in my sleeve. I do my side seams. I hemmed my black stretch lace first before I did the side seams, and then I hemmed the bottom afterwards. So I kept the insert, the back part, I kept that shorter than the rest of it. So it's a little bit shorter. This is at an angle. I just love it. Very easy to do, very quick to do. This is not a time-consuming project. It's a whole lot of fun and it looks great. I've actually seen this on several people. Not exactly the same, but like fringe added in here. You don't have to do the lace. It'd be adorable. I've seen it with, the whole thing was a knit, same fabric, same everything, but this was fringed. And so you want to take your knit and pull it and fringe it, and that was adorable. I just decided I'd done enough fringe. When I saw this, I thought that's the same thing, but it's just a lace version. So this is going to work perfect. And I just love it. You've got a little peekaboo down here. There's lots of fabrics you can put in here. I used to stretch black lace. I just like the combination of these 3 colors. But I've seen a lot of times it's just a woven sheer. And again, if you're going to do something like that, don't secure to the sides. Let it hang freely, because unless you cut that woven larger, because you want to make sure if you're using a knit pattern that you've got enough circumference. You don't want this opening back here to pull open, like it doesn't fit. It's got to have enough circumference to where it can lay gracefully. So that's why I wanted you to see it on. All right, so all of these things make a great bias flare. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns. I forgot to tell you, the fabric numbers. 1711 is this. 1711 is the check, it's a knit, and then 1686 is the stretch black woven. That'll just make it easy for you. The black lace is under accessories. All right, now, happy sewing.